Of local, we're certainly blessed here in Tuscaloosa and West Alabama to have some incredible high school football, and we're looking forward to enjoying it again here in a few months. I'm confident we're going to have it. And one of the top players in West Alabama, really in the state of Alabama, is Damien Taylor, the outstanding soon-to-be senior running back for the Tuscaloosa County High Wildcats. I think he's up to 8 offers. We welcome in Damien now to the program. Good morning, Damien. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
It's a pleasure to have you, buddy. And, last season, 1,851 yards rushing, 17 touchdowns, no fumbles, so you take care of the football. And your team, I know, is excited about this season. You feel like last year under head coach Jay Todd that you made a lot of improvement. And I've talked to some people at County High. The feeling is, even in that tough region you're in Class 7A, that you got a chance to have a pretty good football team this year, right?
Yes, sir.
Give us a little insight into why you think this team has a chance to be really good.
Okay, so, starting off, defense win championship. Even though offense get all the glory, defense win championship. And so right now, we have captains on every level on defensive side. So we got one of our starting big defensive linemen, captain of defensive line. We got Pay as a captain for the linebackers, and Darius a captain of the safeties. And them guys are there, and they can lead the team to greatness. I mean, they can lead defensive ball, 2 tackles, all types of signal calls and everything. They can do everything. And so for offensive side-wise, we got me and Brass in the backfield, which I don't really think nobody can stop us, honestly, Gary. So I'm just nervous right now. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine, Damien. Just relax, buddy. Hey, Joe,
yes, sir,
you got to like, too, that Damien's old school. Here he is, rushed for nearly 2,000 yards, and what does he do first? When I ask about his team, talk about the defensive guys. Says defense wins championships. That's an old school mentality, buddy, and that's going to serve you well. I said something at the top of the show. I called you Damien Williams. Not before you were on, but you know why I did that? Because I'm so old. I covered your offensive coordinator, Dion Williams, when he was a great quarterback there at County High. When you were I think you were born, maybe you were, but he was a great football player. And I know he's been a great coach there. Talk about the influence, if you will, that Dion Williams has had on that team as the offensive coordinator and on you personally.
Well, Dion had a strong influence on me. When he got here, I asked him all the time, like, how was it being Hoover? How was it after every Friday night, knowing after I win a game, like, how was the energy in the stands and everything? And so he answered them questions. He talked to me all the time. He told me how it used to be electrifying, like how they used to have the crowd packed out. They used to go crazy, and it's just the type of football environment that I always wanted to be in. So going on a Friday night, that's a dream I'm looking for. I'm ready to have the stands crump, everybody throwing water, confetti in the air, hearing the crowd cheer. I mean, just the energy I'm looking for, and how he explains it to me is why I work so hard in the field, so we can come out on the game with that W. So we can feel it.
It's interesting you said that about getting him to relay stories, because when he played there, County High was a state power. I mean, they could beat anybody, and that's what you're trying to kind of get to again. Now, as we've said, you're playing in a really, really, really tough region, Region 3 in Class 7A, but you've heard him tell stories about beating Hoover and beating these big schools in the state, Thompson and Hewitt-Trussville and so forth and so on. Does that motivate you?
Yes, sir, it does all the time. That I'll ask him questions, because I feel like if he can do it with the team that he had to, as winning going to the playoffs, I mean, I know we can. Like, we can really bring kind of high back to what they used to be, especially with the guys we have this year. Especially the seniors we have now. I mean, it's just the fire and just the attack, the aggression they have right now. Because, really, don't nobody really expect kind of high as it is, because, we're already losing. But I just feel like the seniors we have now with us really having a chip on our shoulder, and feel like we need redemption to bring back the city what they owed, what we owe the city. It's just what we're really going for this season.
I want to ask you about your head coach, Jay Todd, because he loves County High, and he did his time there as an assistant and got the job as head coach. We know that several guys came through there and didn't stay very long, but as a player, it has to feel good playing for somebody that loves that school, wants to be there, and you don't have to worry about him packing up and leaving maybe the way some other guys did.
Oh, yes, I love Coach Todd. That man right there, he's one heck of a man. I mean, he talks to us all the time. And if we really just let him lead us and buy into his motto, the standard is excellence, he can really lead us to a playoff run and possibly state championship.
All right, as I said at the top there, 1,851 yards, 17 touchdowns, no fumbles. You're going into your senior season. Your latest offer I saw you tweet out came from Arkansas State. You say you're up to 8 offers. Let's talk recruiting. Tell us the teams that have offered you a scholarship so far.
So the teams that offered me so far, my first offer coming from Troy University. Then I got a Southern Miss offer, Jacksonville State, South Alabama. I have UT Martin, UT Tennessee, Arkansas State. Arkansas State. Stanford. And just one more.
One more. If you think of it, let us know. But that's some great offers already. I mean, those are some really good football schools. I know, though, that you got some time to think about this. You've got some more football to play. Great schools already. You're blessed. But I know growing up in this part of the country, you got Alabama in your backyard. This is SEC country. What about, do you have a goal to get some SEC offers to even elevate your stock higher than it already is?
Yes, sir. My goal is to always play Power 5 football. I mean, that's what we dreamed of since we were little kids. I'm pretty sure every athlete especially dreamed of that since he was a little kid. So me, especially being in Alabama backyard, I only feel right if I do turn up so they can see me because I'm right here in that backyard. So I think it'd be pretty cool to the city that, a player that in their city right now that you see every single day has got a big offer from Alabama, especially the powerhouse of college football.
I've gotten to watch you, obviously, and I know last season the game you had against Spain Park was just most running backs will never have a game. Joe, he went for 375 yards and 5 touchdowns. And, I mean, that's the kind of talent this kid has. Now, Damien, in a game like that, we always talk about in the zone. I mean, 375 and 5 touchdowns. You're always good, but that night you were spectacular. What was it about that game that allowed you to put up have that kind of performance and put up those kind of numbers?
Honestly, Gary, I really don't know. Like right before the game, we went to the press box, right? And, I don't normally talk for a game, but I texted my auntie and I said, you might want to be here because I'm finna do something special, which I ain't know I really was going to. And so I remember the first drive. I remember I had broke like a 45-yard run and end up being pushed out of bounds. And I remember I came to the sideline like with my head down, like, I'm like, what the crap, Damien? I can't let that happen. And I remember Coach D, he started patting my back. He told me, don't worry about it. Just keep moving. And when he said that, it kind of just, I don't know what it did, but it just put something through my body. And when I got back on the field, it was like, it is what it is. Let's go. I'm ready to rock and roll now. Let's get it.
Well, you did. I mean, you put on a show that we'll all remember for a long time. What did you have a pregame meal? Do you eat the same thing every week? If not, make sure you eat whatever you ate that game, every game you played. Do you remember what you had to eat that game?
We had lasagna.
Okay, well, stay with lasagna.
And lasagna is my favorite.
Yeah,
I remember that day.
I bet it is your favorite. It needs to remain your favorite. What a game. All right, tell me what I've got on you is 5'11", 195. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Again, and I've seen you. This is more for folks that are listening. And again, folks, somebody puts up 375 yards and 5 touchdowns against a program like Spain Park, they're special. But I want you to, if you were breaking down Damien Taylor, nobody knows you better than you. I want you to tell us the type of running back that you are, what you think makes you unique and your strengths as a runner.
Yeah, so my strength right now is basically I can run between tackles fine, like perfectly. So which I have a lot of IQ, but I tell people all the time, trucking is cool, juking is cool, but they don't always flow up the stat sheets as it should be. Yeah, you can truck someone and get tackled like right afterwards, and you can juke someone and make a guy miss, but go sideways and get tackled from the side and fall. So what I tell them is just know your defense, know where they line up and know where they can be when the ball snaps. So when you make that move, you're not all over the place. I'm more of a down here runner too. Like I can get the ball, split the tackles, it can be off to the races. Or I can come out the backfield and catch a pass or a swing route, whatever you need, and make some shape. So I'm more of a versatile running back where you can't always, game plan for it. You just gotta see what's gonna happen in the game.
Well, yeah, you don't go for 375 unless you can run around people, run over people, run through people. I mean, that is a special game. And you got 8 offers. Listen, you're going to get more. I think those Power 5 offers are coming, and you're set up to have a spectacular senior season. Obviously, I mentioned you play in Class 7A Region 3, which is as good a region as there is in the state of Alabama. But your first 2 games are rivalry games against teams right here, bragging rights games, against Paul Bryant and then against Hillcrest Tuscaloosa. How big are those first 2 games, bragging rights games for you and for Tuscaloosa County High?
So we know it's not a recent game, so it don't really count as going to playoffs. But as you said, bragging rights. I mean, because we went 2-8 last season, so there's not much respect in Tuscaloosa right now up kind of high. So right now, I mean, them 2 games there mean a lot. I mean, we haven't been beat by Bryant in a while. Hillcrest beat us 6 years in a row, especially Hillcrest being over there across the street. Yeah, I mean, it means a lot to me. I just want to bring it back to the city where we can finally have bragging rights, so we can finally talk our noise we're back.
Well,
but 2 games right there, it's going to mean a lot to me.
Absolutely, and I can tell you're a team guy, and that's what makes it most special. But you had 1,851 yards last year. Do you think about 2,000?
Yes, sir. Well, at first, I try to keep it somewhere in my range where I know I can do. So, before the game, Coach D would be like, "What you going for?" I'd be like, 100 yards. And he'd be like, you can rush more than that. So, he always gave me a goal, which I knew that I could never reach. I think that's why I drove so hard to get it, because he said I couldn't do it. Well, he gave it to me. So, our last game, he told me if I rush for 200 yards, I can have 2,000 yards rushing of the season. And, I was like, yeah, all right, not down myself or anything, but, I was just joking with him. And so since I didn't really get it, and by him passing, I feel like I really have to get 2,000 yards this year, and that's my main goal. No matter what, I'm going for 2,000.
Hey man, you got to believe it to achieve it. Nothing's ever gained until you believe you can do it. And you're a spectacular talent, and we're looking forward to watching you this season. And so glad we could visit with you and catch up. Damien, thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Damien.